Hi, everybody. Good evening. Happy Tuesday, Tuesday after Labor Day weekend. Thanks for coming in and spending some precious time on a Tuesday night to hang out with me. It's greatly appreciated. Welcome aboard the SS Minnow. No, I'm only kidding. I wish I was on a cruise. Hey, Karen, how you doing? You're driving? Just be listening. No problem, man. Drive safely, and thanks for coming in and listening. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for everybody coming on an off day. Last night being Labor Day proper, I thought maybe there'd be a good portion of people hanging out and doing other things. So I figured I would lay low for the day. One thing I definitely want to mention before I forget is the little used community tab. Everybody that has a YouTube channel has what's called a community tab. And I know from my own experience in browsing YouTube for many years and enjoying lots of different channels, I seldom use it as well. But I do encourage anybody who's interested to check out my tab, community tab, because I'm going to put notices in there going forward. I've done a few of them. But like, for instance, yesterday, because it was Labor Day and I wasn't going to come on, I threw a note in there. So please, if you get a second, just check that community tab. It'll definitely, I'm always going to be proactive and try to let you folks know if for whatever reason I'm not going to be able to stick to a schedule, rather than people wondering, is he on, is he not on, all that stuff. I totally understand that, because I get, you get a discipline almost. You get used to watching somebody at a certain time and a certain night and all that. I totally get that. I think there's a lot to be said for that. And for the vast majority of the time I've been on YouTube with live shows anyway, I've really stuck to a schedule, short of this past summer, as we announced with all the Beatles shows. But things definitely getting back to normal now going forward. So here's Tuesday, odd night because of Labor Day. But starting Friday, and pretty much without fail, Mondays and Fridays will be live shows. One will be a chat show like this, Chewing the Fat. One will be a listing show where we'll list print ads or postcards or anything else I feel like listing, or the community wants to see us list on one of the other nights. Usually it used to be always a chat show Monday, listing show Friday, but it depends on the mood and what's going on. But anyway, just a friendly reminder about that community tab. It really is a nice little feature that, again, I know I barely ever look at anybody's community tab, but it's a nice option. You could post things in there. You could put questions in there, little announcements. Like I said, if there's some kind of, change to a schedule or whatever the case may be, just check it out. Hey, Joe, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, Mark, welcome aboard, man. Great to have you. Welcome to the show. Hi, Jody, how you doing? You totally forgot about the community tab. Yeah, it's like I said, I know it's seldom used. I'm guilty of it as well, but I do use it. I use it as a way to communicate to people. Like when I was doing the live concerts, I threw a little thing on there. So just check it out if you get a second. If anybody's wondering if it's Monday and it's 7 o'clock and what's going on, I didn't see an announcement, just check that community tab. Usually I'll try to do it either the day of or the night before. Like yesterday, I announced due to Labor Day, we're going to take a night off. I'll see you all tomorrow night. So, hey, CJ, welcome to the show. You made it. You always make it, man. It's great to have you. You use the, yeah, it's a great function. It really is nice. It's kind of the only way to communicate, short of, comments and stuff on individual videos, but it's a way to kind of be, a back and forth dialogue with people that are watching the show and, subscribers to the channel. It's a great way to just keep everything back and forth. And again, feel free to comment on those things. I could put polls up. For instance, I saw there's a poll function on there. So you could put a poll and say, hey guys, I'm going to do a listing show tonight. Do you want to do this, or this? And everybody could vote. It's a nice way to be interactive and again, have like a conversation back and forth. Hey, Maria, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to have you. Excuse me, voice going already. Haven't played in a week, so my voice should not be going. Haven't sang for a week. It is September. It is Labor Day is behind us. You wouldn't know it weather-wise here in the Northeast, where it's the hottest it's been since probably last summer. Mid-90s, scorching hot. It's supposed to be this way all week. So much for fall. But fall starts in, 18 days, I think, according to the calendar. So we really do still have a couple of weeks of summer, but good riddance to summer, man. As far as eBay, as far as reselling is concerned, for me personally, good riddance. I really hope I put a little thing, a little teaser in the description today saying basically like, will the change of seasons bring a return to normalcy as far as sales go? Because I'm going to be brutally honest, as they say, year over year, month of August, I just did a little check on I shouldn't have done it. I knew it was a bad month, but I didn't realize how bad. So comparing this just ended August with last August, 2022, my net sales for the month of August down 80.5%. 80%. Now that's a bad month. It's a very, very bad month, despite having twice as many listings as I had last August, for sure. My average sale price item, $16.61, down 76% from last August. So it was a brutal month here. And I have been cross-listing. I'm pretty sure I alluded to that in some of the previous videos or shows on a couple of other platforms, primarily music, CDs and albums. Macari, I have 156 listings up on Macari now, just cross-listing. I had a couple of sales on there, but I'm not, it's not this kind of stuff you're going to hang your hat on, but just trying to expand a little bit and throw some items out there on different platforms and see, if there's anything that could help. But I am certainly hoping that this quote unquote normal day-to-day living and, people, all the cliches, right? Kids are back in school, da, 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 da. Well, let's see if that has any impact. I don't know. The kids were off, so nobody bought anything. I don't really buy that, but let's just hope it all comes to an end. 80% down is just tragic. That's not month over month. That's August. This just past August, past the last August, 80%. So, man, oh man alive, got to change something, right? So list is what we continue to do. List various items, varied items, I should say. List of my ads. Oh, one other thing I definitely want to mention. I counted my magazine. I'm always talking about, I had this big Life magazine stash, right? I did an accounting over the weekend of how many magazines I have left to my left in my my shelving system that we have not processed yet, that we haven't opened up, we haven't taken ads out. 617 magazines remain. So there you go. That's, again, do 617 times. I'm going to be conservative and say 25 ads a magazine, which is actually a joke, times 617. That's 15,425 listings just waiting to be listed. Times, name your price, 15. It's $250,000 worth of merchandise just sitting there waiting to be listed. So that's going to be my fall, folks. It's going to be listing that, continuing with the postcard stuff from the big haul I picked up in the spring, and just hoping that, by virtue of all this huge amount of volume that I hope to get up, that things will turn around. Yeah, the fall slowdown, yeah. Skidding in the ice. You lost interest in spending any time on eBay, I guess. There she is. Hi, Dawn. How you doing? You lost interest on spending time on eBay. That's an interesting statement. You want to expand on that a little bit? You just find it to be a boring place to be? I'm only on there to sell, so I'm on it, night and day. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well that sell on eBay, and I think most of us do. I'm always on it. I'm beyond and what's even worse than the disturbing 80% down in net sales is my traffic wasn't terrible. Like my traffic was, let me pull that up actually right now. My traffic for the month of August, let me just do this really quick. It always defaults to the last 30 days. August 1st, August 31st was, overall impressions were down 12%. That's not a big deal. My page views were up 30%. So what does that tell you? 30% page views increased and 80% less sales. It tells me that people don't like what I have for sale. So scary. It wasn't, you can't blame it on, oh man, traffic. I'm not getting any eBay traffic. That's not the cause of my specific problem, because my page views are up 30%. Impressions are one thing. What really counts is page views, right? How many times people actually go to your page. So to have my page views up a nice amount, 30%, but my sales be down 80%. Oof. Not a good combo. I almost want to see page views down 50% or something so I could blame it on traffic, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So just going to continue to list like I've been doing and probably just up that quite a bit. Run some more sales, all the usual, schemes, run some sales. I had a coupon out for, what was it? It was for the whole week last week that ended last night for Labor Day. I made it called Labor Day week or something to that effect. And that just ended. So I got a few sales from that, the 20% coupon. So it's not traffic, the postcard thing. I've obviously, the obvious glaring difference between last August and this August is I have half my store is postcards now. Last year I had no postcards, or maybe 5 last August. I got into it heavily in September. So that definitely explains the cost per. I get that, And again, I'm not whining about postcards, love postcards. But the thing is, the traffic being the page views being up and the dollars being brought into the store being down so monumentally. 80% is a colossal. That's net. Like I don't care about gross because that factors in taxes. Net sales, what amount goes into your bank account? 80%, 80.5%. Egads, right? Egads. Soul searching time, folks. Your traffic was way down. Yeah, my traffic wasn't way down, but my sales certainly were. Price too high. I don't know, Cameron. I mean, everything's kind of the same. I haven't made any major changes. And it's interesting. Of course, it's an obvious good thing to ponder, right? But like when I get offers, let's say you receive an offer from a buyer, we all dread the low ball offer, all that kind of stuff. I'm not usually, knock on wood, subject to that. Like I'll use print ads as an example. My base price is $16.50, $16.49. Why it's that number is because of some stuff I did a while ago. But I put it up there because when I do percentages off, it comes back to kind of a more round number. I sell a whole bunch of them full price. When I get an offer, they'll be respectable, $12, $13, $11. It's not like that. I'm at $16.50 and they're offering me $5. Even with postcards, the majority of my postcards are like $10 range or even a little bit less. And, I don't have a $9.99 postcard and somebody makes me an offer for $2. So I'm not falling victim to that. So that just lends me to think it might not be pricing necessarily. Of course, if you look at anything that eBay is going to send you, right, their suggested stuff is always promote more and drop your prices. But it's food for thought. But I don't know that nothing's changed dramatically. Like if I had raised everything dramatically in the last 2 months, did a huge increase in my overall pricing scheme or something, I could understand that. But everything's pretty much status quo. And I've run sales and I've had coupons on, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there you go. I'd still probably be up if I took 80% off of everything, if I got more sales. Page views are up 140. Is that year over year, Dawn? I'm talking about, just so you know, I don't know if you just joined. Welcome to the show as always. But I did my August year over year to last August. So the 80% horrifying number is August over August sales. Let's face it, the economy is not, yeah, I mean, there's always something to that, but lots of people sell online and not everybody's down 80%. Hey, Kelly, what's up? Warren is high up the other months, but up 24. That's remarkable, man. Good for you. Very glad to hear it. So anyway, yeah, that's my sob story. Just say you have to open that up and just start with the bad news, right? But I like to be transparent with stuff because I'm always talking about these items, and I don't know what happened in my store in August. I just don't know. Now I will say, whether there's a direct parallel here, I don't know, but I told everybody this for the last 2 months or 3 months since June, that my quantity of listings per day have tailed off significantly because of all the off time I've had, because of all the travel and the days of working and doing shows and stuff. So that, I'm sure that's a factor, but to the tune of 80%, that's remarkable. If it's true, it's true. And it is what it is. And we've said this 1,000 times on this show, and I'll continue to preach it, like list, can't get down, because that's how you'll never get out of the funk. If you just get depressed and 80%, well, I'm not going to list anything. What's the point? I'm not like that, just as a person. And also that's what I'm going to do in September, is just list like a madman, having far less shows and less, extracurricular activities to take away my time from reselling. I guess I just have to list up a storm this month and see if it turns the ship around. And then the frustrating thing about that too, it wouldn't be frustrating if it does turn it around. That's great, but I won't really know. Is it because I listed more, or is it because it's September and things are normal again? Who knows? But I'm the king of overanalyzation, like I know a lot of us are. Hey, Biff, how you doing? You're late, but just by a whisker. Great to have you, man. Thanks for coming in. Hi, Sandy. And then Sandy had the best August the last 4 years. So God bless you all. Who knows, right? I mean, who knows? Who knows why any of this stuff is? The only thing I know is, my daily listing measurements, or whatever you want to say, quantity of items listed, average per day, are down significantly since May or so, maybe early June. I'm sure that has something to do with it. But again, I have twice as many listings easily as I had last August. So I don't get it. Do I keep track of where you stand on listing quality? Yes, I've looked at that many and many a time, Biff. A few of us have talked about this in other forums and stuff. And I take those things with a grain of salt. I know that there's some truth in the numbers, obviously, but like, yeah, like, and that changes almost daily. Like, let's say you do an end and sell similar of like several thousand postcards and they all are pushed up the next day or something. You're going to rank higher than you did the day before, the day before. So yeah, I have taken a look at it. Speaking of which, I just did a huge end and relist of practically my whole store, staggered in 3 days, 28th, 29th, and 30th of August. So everything is fresh, from a listing perspective. And I had a horrible weekend, which I had a feeling the weekend might not be great. Again, I'm sure some people say I had the best weekend ever, and God bless you again. I'm glad you did. But I anticipated a lousy weekend being Labor Day, people hanging out, yada, yada, yada. Like CJ, not wanting to go on eBay, finding it boring, rather be out there grilling the hot dogs. I get that. Hi, Vaughn. How you doing? Evening list and work it. That's all you can do. List. +1 just sold a postcard. Congratulations. Bringing me to a very good point, Mark. If you have a second to leave a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Let YouTube know that you're enjoying the show as much as I'm enjoying having everybody and chatting here and confessing the blues. It's all right. Nothing to get hung about, as they say in Strawberry Fields. But at the same time, frustrating. Frustrating. Nobody wants to be down 80%, except maybe in weight. Hey, Mike, how you doing? No, 80% would be a little bit extreme. But I'll deal with, I'd like to lose another 20 pounds. I'm about 16. I don't want to lose about 20. If I lose 20, I'll be downright svelte again. Adonis material, like I always used to be. The blues are great. The blues are real. Confessing the blues. Yeah. So that's it. How you guys doing? I've heard Sandy remarkably had a phenomenal August, which is outrageously cool. Kelly was up 24%. That's great. I saw Dawn pop up a stat. Hold on. I got to go back to Dawn's. 218%. Yeah, and you've been listing up a storm, as I know, Dawn. So Dawn is like, you have several thousand. You probably tripled your store, right? And that's great. So that's really the fruits of your labor are coming through, which is wonderful. Would you roll a 16 by 11 ad or send it flat? Send it flat. Yeah. It's actually a great point because some of the magazines that I list are exactly that dimension, 16. And the mailers, the rigid mailers that I always talk about that I have links down below and I do in my videos, they're about half an inch too small to accommodate those. They do have larger ones, 18 by 12 or 18 by 13. And I bought about 100 of those just for situations like that, Biff, where I have those larger, because I've what do they call them? Frankenbox. I've Franken enveloped a couple of my ads. If they were 16 inches, I just like cut off the top of another one, extend it by like an inch. But then I lose two. Those things aren't cheap, and I lose 2 envelopes doing that. 2 mailers, I should say. But anyway, yeah, they do have a larger form factor. The same place that I buy mine from, if you look and just change it, they have like one size bigger, I think. So I have like, I think it's about 100 of them just for that case. But I would always send them flat. I just like to have them flat. What would you put it in if you rolled it? Do you have a little canister style box or something? Like a poster size maybe? Jody sold 6 things this weekend, better than nothing. Yeah, definitely better than nothing. Your sales were up because of one great estate sale. Tell us all about it, Sandy. So it's what you sell, as they say too, right? That's the old adage. So true. That's awesome. What'd you get? That can happen anytime. You come into something really cool or very, very valuable. You get a couple of sales and it could drive your numbers way up. I'm overdue for that stuff. I haven't been sourcing at all. Since the postcard haul in March, I haven't gotten anything because I don't need anything of the stuff I list. I really don't. I have I just told you how many? 617 magazines or whatever the math was. 30-something thousand postcards I still have to list. There's a lot. Plenty of stuff right here on my premises. However, they're all cheap, in quotes, cheap items. So, and I love estate sales. So if I went to an estate sale and I found like a tremendous record collection where every record is worth $50 or $100 and I sold them, my numbers would go way up. Your sales hadn't drastically increased after tripling your number of listings. I'd be concerned. Yeah, well, I probably doubled mine and I'm down 80% on, so I am concerned. Yeah, it's possible. I have little to no experience mailing those tubes. I had one poster that I remember selling. It was a Disney item, and it was in this original poster that we bought it in. We didn't buy it. It was my wife and I were both employees at the time, so we got one. But it was like a black, those standard poster tubes. So I didn't even have to go out and get a tube. It was already in it. I don't think I've ever mailed anything in like a tube format. So if anybody has an experience with that and wants to help Biff along with that, feel free. Callie, to anyone who feels like they have slow sales, don't get sad. My sales were solid in August, but garbage in June. Everyone sells a variety of things, so it's hard to compare yourself to. Yeah, absolutely. It's what you sell. And there are ups and downs. I get it, you know. She did. Do listings count the same way in Canada, though? Like, much like their dollars. She's like, oh, I sold something for $200, but it's only $100 in real money. We joke about real money. No, Dawn's been a machine with listing. I know that. And thank God that you're actually reaping some of the rewards. That is a cruise ship room, correct? Don't you see? There's my veranda. You know what I mean? Got the world map going over here on the TV. This is a really nice looking wallpaper. Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is. Dawn's been working very hard. Cross stitch kits. Wow. Very cool. Crafty stuff. Do you sell on Etsy, Sandy? All that stuff just sounds like the kind of stuff that would go well on Etsy. Dawn Wright, Queen of Etsy. Queen of Etsy Canada. See, I'd throw that on Etsy. Macari I'm using is my other. I also sell records on Discogs. So that's really the three platforms I'm using right now. And Etsy. So I have an Etsy store, a recent Macari, and the platform, of course, eBay. So you know, diversifying slightly in different types of platforms, all with the hopes of, you know, stirring some activity and some sales. It's the name of the game. Yeah, absolutely. Dawn's doing great. See, people chastise me for scheduling listings. The last few weeks, there have been several days where I could not activate lists. Consistency. Beautiful thing. Yeah, I don't know why people are slamming you. I understand. I know you've talked about that. Like, why not just list it? I could fall into both sides. If you know you're going to have down days where you're just not able to do something, it must be really nice psychologically to have, you know, a stash of listings ready to go. I think it's pretty cool. It allows for the off days, you know. In fact, if I'd subscribed to that philosophy in May, June, and July and August, maybe I wouldn't be down so much because I could have had a bunch of listings. Even if I'm in New Hampshire playing a show, bam, 50 more listings are going up or whatever it is. So I think it's an interesting philosophy. You only sell on eBay. Cool. Internationally, a little bit of everything. Very cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. $30 on Etsy. Yeah, Etsy is not for me. It's just not it hasn't been a big success story. I've had Etsy. Go to my Etsy shop. I did have an Etsy sale. If I sell 2 or 3 a month, Biff, I'm excited on Etsy. But I only have like 80 listings on Etsy, and they're just cross listers from eBay. 75 active listings. I just sold a ceramic piece last week. So that was my August sale on Etsy. I don't bank a lot. I don't put a lot of faith in Etsy. Again, it's my own fault. I don't list on Etsy at all. I tried to cross post some stuff. And what's wrong with scheduling an ad? Nothing at all. Yeah, no, nothing's wrong with that at all. Dawn caught some slack in some forums and stuff about, you know, why would you do that? Because if you think about it, if you take all that time to do drafts and upload your pictures and do all that, why not just list them, right? But she makes a great argument. The reason that she chooses to do this, I think it's just a safety net sort of a thing. That let's say you have a doctor's appointment one day, or you come down with a cold, you know, a million reasons, right? You just can't, you're tired one day, whatever. It allows you to have some off days, yet eBay's still working for you, if that makes sense. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's an interesting idea. So she just caught some slack. But who's laughing now? She's up 200% year over year. Remember, that's Canadian 200%, which is really only 100%. Yep. Consistently actively makes a difference. Yeah. It's not knowing that I'll have down days ahead of time, but it means that when I do have those days, it's fine. Right. It's a safety net. Hi, Tina. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. J-Rod Flips has 250 listings ready to go. Nice. Yeah. She did catch a lot of slack for that, and for no reason, you know? No reason. she's proving that for her it works. And again, that gets back to something we could all take to heart a little bit, right? Like, do what works for you, whatever your system is, whatever works. Hi, Jeff. Good evening to you. I applaud the creativity. And eBay didn't they just launch that feature to be able to schedule listings like that? Because that's one of the benefits of using. Hold on, I just got a message. I'm sorry. I just got a really stupid message. One of the benefits of using 6-bit was that you could schedule listings for me for postcards, and then eBay rolled it out. You know why, Don? Because you're an innovator. They laughed at Edison when he said he can make an envelope. Oh, no. A light bulb. I was looking at envelopes. They laughed at the Wright brothers when they said they would fly a plane. Dawn is an innovator. You also have a booth in an antique store. So are those numbers incorporating your antique, your store, or is it just all online sales or a combination? It existed for a long time, but they made it free. That's the difference, right? Made it free. Cool. Yeah. So again, kudos to Dawn. Jeff, Jeff, how are you doing sales wise? Kelly doing well, up 24%. Dawn absolutely destroying it, 200+% year over year. Just talking about August year over year. But obviously a compelling argument can be made by Dawn's success and my flaming out over here is that I barely listed, or compared to what I usually list, and I'm down 80%. Dawn lists like a fiend every day, and she's up 218%. Coincidence? I don't know. I don't think so. Number 2, SM Postcards, selling postcards to the tune of 2 in the first 28 minutes of the program. Congratulations, man. That's outrageously cool. Online was up. Okay, slow month antique booth didn't put any new in. I gotcha. Do you see foot traffic is down in summertime in antique booths? Like, does that pick up in the colder weather when people are looking for things to do? So many options to do things outdoors, obviously, in summertime. I wonder if that has a bearing on antique booths and antique malls and all that stuff. Speaking of which, I haven't been to a little Booth's Corner, it's called, a little place that my wife and I like to frequent. We haven't been there in many months. But that's definitely a fall, winter kind of experience. They have baked goods, and it smells fantastic in there. They have really good food markets and stuff, along with all the antiques and ephemera and records and all that good stuff. I miss going there. You just got your 50 return back because don't need. You got your 50 return back. I'm not sure what you're saying. You got a return? Because he doesn't need something, I guess. You want to learn how to schedule your sales like listings. There you go. Yeah, I'm going to schedule 50 sales a day. A $50 return back. Let me try to do this again. You just got your $50 return back because don't need. You told the buyer to. Got your first negative feedback. That's for a return? You gave him the return, and will they reverse the negative for you? That sounds like a pretty lame negative. Just I don't need it. I don't want it. How can you justify that? Yeah, get that reversed for sure if you haven't already. That was his reason. Don't need. Yeah, I hope you got it reversed, man. That's nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. So anyway, in my life, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend September, October. November is the big postcard show, which I really can't wait to. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. But Popeye, of course, will be there. Hopefully some other people will be there. York, PA, Postcard Extravaganza. I think it's the week before Thanksgiving. Coming up already again in a little over 2 months. It's crazy. But I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to get out there and hang out and see Popeye again. It's a lot of fun hanging out with him and check out some more postcards and hopefully meet some of you guys too. That's going to be exciting. But until that point, other than regular life, everyday things that have to be done and the occasional show, which I'm still doing, just not with the frequency that I was doing it for the last 3 or 4 months, I'll be listening. I got 600 magazines burned a hole in my just wasting away over here. Need to be listed. 35,000 postcards sitting there need to be listed. So time to get off the proverbial butt and start listing. That's all. You message him. Oh, okay. Did you? But you got it removed. God, I can't talk. You got it removed though. Is that correct? Because you just wrote yeah. Hi Ginger, how you doing? Ginger Hive. I'm right there with you. Jiminy took off last 2 months of listing sales are down about 60%. Yeah, so you just, and that's totally fine. But again, let's go back to Dawn Wright's philosophy. Who's laughing now? Could you imagine if when you're feeling frisky and in the mood to list a lot of stuff, not a bad move, just keep some kind of waiting for a rainy day. And then if you need a break or something, schedule those guys and you could take a break and still get listings done. I really like that idea, Dawn, very much. You know, instead of let's say you're really aggressive one day and you want to pound 100 listings and maybe you just list 40 or 50 of them and keep 50 for a rainy day, list another 50 the next day, keep 50 for a rainy day, and you build up a nice little treasure chest full of goodies for when you need some time off, or you have to have time off in my case, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's usually a bad way to, Yeah, I agree totally. Ginger Hive, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. Please, again, leave a thumbs up. We still have the special going, It's valid. It's actually indefinite. You leave it right. Just ask Mark. He's had 2 sales already. Leave a thumbs up. Get a sale. Usually for the first hour. So 7 to 8. We still have 27 minutes of the first hour. Leave a thumbs up. High probability of getting a sale. Of course, this doesn't count for yours truly. I never get sales during these shows. It's happened a couple of times, but not too frequently. And when it does happen, we make a federal case out of it. Especially in times like this when you're down this significantly. So yeah, it's got to be the listing thing. If you take off from listing, eBay slaps your hand. Doesn't matter how many listings you have either. I have heard Popeye say that. I don't remember what quantity he has anymore, but he has tens of thousands of listings, or certainly did. And he said the same thing. Like if he stopped, well, he definitely did stop listing because of the whole whatnot thing, with the frequency he used to anyway. And he said, doesn't matter. You could have 50,000 listings. If you stop listing for a period of time, you're lucky if you get a couple sales a day, even with that volume. So eBay just doesn't like when you don't constantly feed that machine. I see a funny from Mark. Hold on. First negative ever. You started by filling up the 21 days with 10 listings a day, then added another 10 right now. See, Dawn, if you did a video, if you did YouTube, you could do a video on how to schedule your listings on eBay. Maybe I'll have you do. I'll talk to you offline. I'll have my people talk to you. You just gave me an idea. 20%, yeah, 80% of my usual 80% down, 20% of a sale. Correct. Can't wait to hear Matt's muddy muck story. What's his jackass, Matt? He's a muddy mess. Dawn, once you schedule a listing, does it stay in drafts till it lists? I think the drafts expire after 30 days. Do they not, Dawn? Burning Man. You won't be at the PA show. You finished sorting through your back stock and narrowed it down. 120K to 30,000 cost of my plans. Get those listed by next summer. That's awesome, man. Well, hopefully one day the paths will cross. It'd be cool to meet you. I'm definitely looking to do. I did it last year, but I want to do a little more of that. Some remotes and stuff from the show. I plan on being there both days. Mrs. Slippett will be with me this year, barring any issues, but she wants to go with me, so we're gonna have a good time. We might even get a room. It's not far; it's an hour and a half ride. But if we're gonna go an hour and a half, we might as well just hang out, maybe get some dinner, have a night out, and then come home the next day. We'll see. I'd like to be there for both. Postcards only, Tina. That's a good question, actually. I never looked to see what the limit is, but don't they expire after a period? Your drafts, if you don't use them. Actually, I could look at my draft folder. I'm pretty sure, like, if you have a draft out there for a period, yeah, that does have an expiration day. But it's a pretty long expiration day. Like my CD draft that I have, it expires on November 17th, 73 days. So I don't know what the term is, but yeah, And then the print ads I just listed on the live show whenever we did the last live show, 68 days till that one expires. So they expire, but I guess it's like 90 days or so. Definitely a lot of time. But that's a great question. Do you share your eBay? Are you asking me or Kelly? Yeah, Kelly does postcards, absolutely. Monday to Friday, you schedule 5 for Saturday and 5 for Sunday. Is that right, Mark? Seriously, you do that? That's cool. So I didn't know Mark was doing the same thing. Drafts expire after 90 days. There you go, Dawn. What I'm doing is ticking off the schedule listing option near where you put the price. It used to have a fee, but now it's free. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like the two I have, one says 73 days away. Maybe it is 75, and then one says 68. That probably is right, because last Monday we did a listing show, right? 7 days ago, and it has 68 days. Yeah, I think 75 is right, Dawn. Plenty of time. I mean, we're talking mid-November for new ones. If you do something today, you'll have till the middle of November to get that draft up. And worst case scenario, you just do a new draft. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's a long time, really. What CD? End up have 25 Saturday and 25 Sunday. Cool, that's a good idea. You've been doing that for a while, Mark, or just since they rolled out the free option? Records. Me too. I still have lots of records. I have bins of records up there. Yeah, it really isn't a mystery. It's definitely, eBay doesn't like when you don't list daily. They will slap your hand, take away your firstborn. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, they'll screw you. They'll screw you. Once they rolled it out for free. Cool. Yeah, I like free too. Great price. Hard to beat it. Hi, Susan. How you doing? Welcome to the show. You also schedule listings for each day about 2 weeks out. That's really interesting. I would love to hear your philosophies. When do you do it? Does everybody? We have Dawn, we have Mark, and now we have Susan. Again, welcome aboard, Susan. Do you build in time every day to list a portion to be released the same day and a portion to be held as a draft for a period of time? You know what I mean? How do you coordinate that? Is there any rhyme or reason to it, or you just whatever you feel like doing, you do? Because I think it's a great idea if you get into a habit of whatever the number is, that you aim to list on a daily basis. Make it 10. Make it really simple. 10 a day, right? If you say I want to list 10 a day, but I also want to have a series of drafts, do you do 10 a day and then do 10 drafts and just have them build up? I would probably do something like that where it's a defined number each day that I want to go live the same day and I want to have in reserve. It's an interesting approach, and it really would have served me well this summer, in retrospect. You were also lucky find paper. Oh, okay, cool. When you list like 20, you spread them out like 5 a day, so you have a minimum. Your first 10 cards you list Monday to Friday get scheduled for the weekend, then the other 40 every day goes right up. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so you have a system. I had a feeling Mark might have a system. Numbers people like numbers and systems. We don't just, willy-nilly, let me list a couple, let me put a little on the side. There's got to be a number to make, because that's the only way you can really quantify, the success or whatever of it, right? You have to have numbers to back it up. Number 3, seriously, congratulations, Mark. Dawn's plan is to do a certain number to go live the same day, and then schedule the rest. But you have fallen behind, so you've only been scheduling for the last month or so. You've only been scheduling, not doing anything live, is what you're saying? So you're just letting the schedules catch up? Hey, whatever works. It's feeding the machine daily. J Ride Flips says from draft to actual for listing is like 18 days or something like that. Although you do make the more expensive ones live on the same day. You cherry pick your own listings. That's interesting. 1 Foot Flipper. Yeah, I've checked out 1 Foot Flipper. He's got a cool channel. I've watched some of his stuff. He has a really interesting approach where he'll do a video on whatever, and then instead of doing a proper what's sold video like so many of us do, he incorporates during a conversation, I sold this hat for $10 today. And then he goes back into whatever the topic is. And then 20 minutes later, I sold a bottle of Deer Park water. It's cool the way he incorporates it. I've watched several of his shows. It's a good channel. So 30 a day. Yeah. So all you can do if you feel like doing live listing, not live listings, if you feel like doing listings, new ones today, you're feeling, really healthy or whatever, in the mood to do this, and you have a lot of time on your hands, you can only add to that. That's wonderful. You got a guaranteed 30 in the bank, and you could always add to it if you feel like doing it. Very cool. How many days do you have stashed right now, Dawn? Like if you were to stop today, if you didn't do any for drafts today, how many do you have? How long could you keep going with the drafts that you have? You're going to do what Dawn does and start scheduling on Canadian time. There you go. He really is. He's being a little bit of a glutton here, depriving the rest of us. No, good for Mark. Love to see when Mark sells stuff. Man works hard, passionate about his industry and his niche. Do they really? Canadian Central Time? You just made a cherry pie video, and yes, you're working. A cherry, like a how to make a cherry pie? Is your channel the same name? I guess it is, right? Vintage Vaughn, that's your channel? Be selfish. Dawn wants pie. Cherry pie. I cannot tell you the last time I had a slice of cherry pie, but I know when I have had it, I enjoy cherry pie. Given my druthers, here we go into the food. Given my druthers, blueberry pie. Love a blueberry pie. Really soft, ripe, sweet blueberries. Absolutely delicious. A little whipped cream going on top. Not Cool Whip because that's not real food. Whipped cream. And of course, I enjoy a slice of pumpkin pie now and then. Mostly then. No, in the fall. Good old apple pie. Has to be warm, though. Has to be warm, the apple pie. And I don't go ice cream on it. My wife likes a big old scoop of vanilla, Breyer's vanilla, with little specks of vanilla. I go whipped cream again. Whipped cream on my pie products. So there we go. Now that we've set that straight. Joe wants a slice. Your schedule goes to September 22nd, but the day is the end. Only 10 listings. Okay. So you still have like almost 3 weeks, right? About 2.5 weeks. Good stuff. The sled dogs run every hour to the tundra. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. You made a how to make a cherry pie video. Pumpkin pie, apple, peach, strawberry, rhubarb. Mrs. Flippett loves rhubarb. So does her mom. Strawberry pie. I don't think I've ever had a strawberry pie. I've had like a strawberry cream. I don't know if it's a pie though, right? It's more like a strawberries and cream actually. On like a, I guess it's not really a pie. It's more like almost like a parfait, if that makes sense, right? Strawberries and cream with maybe like a little graham cracker base or something. Dawn wants all the pie. No pie for me, baby. No pie for me. Pie free since June 28th. I've been pie free probably for a year, but June 28th was the date that the no carb thing started. What happened on my screen? What are we doing? What is going on? Big old black void in my screen. Hang on. That's unacceptable. I must have hit a button. Let's fix that. Had everything nice and worked out. Hold for some technical adjustments, folks. Problem is, where the heck is the Zoom? Here it goes. Didn't fix it, did it? Oh, well, who cares? Ship is going down. All right, everybody, run for your lives. It's going down. It's only going down to 80% though, Mark. So there's a 20% chance that it'll remain buoyant. Good stuff. So if anything else, the takeaway from this evening's show, without question, is there's a lot to be said for scheduling listings in advance. And I really do kick myself a little bit for not thinking of that, knowing that Dawn has been doing it all this time and having no problem with it, thinking it was a cool idea. I should have been doing it all this time. I could have done it like in April or something and stocked up. Now I know for next year, when the schedule gets really busy, that I'm going to be traveling and all that. build up an arsenal of drafts. That's all. And then I have a guaranteed 75-day window or whatever to get them up. No, I thought that was a sale. God forbid. Cameron is in Canada. Canada sounds like a beautiful town. He's in Washington driving. Washington's pretty much Canada, isn't it? Same thing. Only 20%. That's right. 80% are doomed. That's probably your general mortality rate on a sinking cruise ship. I would think a solid 80% are going to drown and or freeze. Fighting off a moose. Yeah, so that's the story, everybody. Sales have been brutal, but now I think through the miracle of this conversation, it's because I haven't listed anything in 3 months. Of course, I have listed, but you know what I mean. I haven't listed with the intensity that I usually list with, and it's unfortunately wreaking havoc in my numbers. So with that said, we're going to be doing a lot of listing. Look forward to some listing shows here on the channel this fall. Coming at you probably as soon as Friday night. I don't see any real reason. Let me just say it one more time. Oh, check. I shouldn't say it. Let me check one more time to make sure. And please check the community tab on my channel if you have any interest in watching the shows or knowing if I'm not going to be on for whatever reason. I promise I will leave advance notice in that community tab. Friday, my wife has a doctor appointment, but it should not impact the evening. And then my next 1, 2, 3 shows are all on weekends, 2 Saturdays and 1 Sunday. So no problem in September as far as scheduling, which is great. Okay. So again, all things being equal, I know I've said this before, but I really do mean it this time because I only have weekend shows in September. So it won't be a problem. Oh, Friday, the 22nd is my wife's birthday. So if I do come on, I might even do like a daytime show or something while she's at work just to get a show in and stick to the schedule. We'll do something like that on Friday. But everybody wish Mrs. Slippett a happy birthday on September 22nd, the day that Dawn's drafts run out. So it's easy to remember. First day of fall is the 23rd, which is in 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I should be on. So let's look for a listing show this Friday, the 8th. I got to get this stuff up. I'm going to be, until we meet again on Friday, I promise you, I'll be listing day and night. I probably might stay up really late tonight and get some stuff up because I think that's all it comes down to is a simple act of not listing with the frequency I'm usually listing. It's not always a mystery. Sometimes it's pretty simple to figure this stuff out. There's a lot of stuff we can't figure out with eBay and the like, but some of the stuff is pretty transparent, I dig algorithms. Yeah, absolutely. You have a YouTube buddy in BC Howie, British Columbia, right? Oh, black squirrels. You were surprised to hear Oregon doesn't have them. Yeah, I've never seen a black squirrel in my life. All squirrels are gray. You can schedule posts in the community tab. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's really a nice little. I don't think it's used enough. It's a nice little option to have. Again, it's just a way to communicate when we're offline, just back and forth and questions and comments and happy things and sad things and whatever, just announcements in general, polls, which I'm definitely going to do. Polls about hey, what do you guys want? I'm going to do a listing show Friday. You want to do postcards or print ads or anybody have anything else? Maybe we could do records one night. I'd be happy to do that. Maybe we could list some stuff on Discogs. If anybody's interested in music like I am, I list on Discogs too, which is a totally different, I have a video about Discogs. It's actually is one of the ones that performed pretty well for me, which I was pleasantly surprised by. It was like an overview of Discogs. Check that out if you're interested, but very cool platform. And you can sell on it. Very ridiculously easy. You don't even need photos in Discogs. That's how simple it is. So that's another option for listing purposes. We could do print ads, postcards, records, CDs, cassettes even. I have a bunch of cassettes I have to list. 78s. I have a ton of 78s. List 78s. I'll put up a poll. In fact, maybe right after the show. So we'll get everybody in the habit of checking out the community tab. And not just my channel, everybody. I know most of you, I certainly, I have subscriptions to probably 100 different channels, maybe more than that, on a myriad of topics, And I don't usually check out the community tab either. But now that I'm doing it I think it's something that we should all pay a little more attention to. It's a nice thing to use. So I'll put I'll put a poll up and we'll see what the majority of folks have to say about this Friday's listing show. So we'll leave it up to you. I think those will be your contenders though. We're going to put records as records include CDs, 78s, regular vinyl records, 45s, or tapes, music. And then we'll have, of course, the standbys, print ads, postcards. What else did I say? There was something else I just said. And whatever else. Maybe I'll put miscellaneous or something. And we'll do that. And then maybe it'll get people into the habit of checking out the community tab a little bit. You're 45 north. About 45 minutes north of me, there is a town with white squirrels. Oh, wow. Albino squirrels? I think we're sailing by Canada right now. I would love to do. There's a nice cruise. A lot of cruise ships go to Alaska. And they take, I think the port is in, well, there's one in Seattle and one in Vancouver, I think are the two main ones. I would love to do that cruise to get up there. Not albino, just white. Okay. The smoke gave it away. That's kind of funny. Yeah, what's going on? I haven't heard. I'm knock on wood again. We haven't had any smoke issues in a while. Although my neighborhood might go on fire because it's like 97 degrees out for no reason. Well, it's 86 now and it's 5 to 8 at night. Tomorrow's supposed to be 96 degrees. Thursday, 94. Friday, we cool down to 90. But September's coming in with a fury. Like, as I put very little credence into the 10-day forecast because, trust me, with all the gigs I do outside, that they can't tell you the weather for an hour from now, let alone 10 days from now. But anyway, all the way out through September 14th is the last day on the schedule. That's the first day that's 80. Like 80. Every other day is 90s and 80s. So it's going to be at least half the month very, very hot. At least in my area. You'd like to know more about grading records. That's a great idea, Ginger. Yeah, I'd be happy to do a video. I've been selling records long before eBay. Like, that was probably the first thing I ever, let me think before I open my mouth. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Records are probably one of the original things I've ever sold, even before there was an eBay. I used to sell records in antique malls and things like that. I used to trade records with friends and stuff. So I've been grading them. They used to have books. Now there's a lot of online resources you could use. I will say, as a general rule, and I'm sure everybody understands this, and if you guys sell records, whether it's 78s or anything else, there's different scales and different systems. But as a general rule, be conservative in your grading. Don't shoot for the moon. This thing is excellent. This thing is near mint, because you're just going to you're opening the door for some really lousy feedback and potential returns. Be conservative. If you think it's VG plus, say VG, you know, and then you exceed expectations when they get the record. They're like, wow, this thing is in really good shape. But yeah, I'd be happy to put something together. Maybe we could talk about that in a live show if there's any interest. I'll put it in check out the community tab, everybody. You have a squirrel in your backyard. We have so many squirrels in front of our window. Like my dog, little Sherlock, we have a, what do you call those windows that are like recessed? There's a word for it. It escapes me. It's almost like a little built-in porch, and then the window goes, I forgot what they're called, but whatever. Window. And he lives on that window. He has like little soft pillows and stuff that he sits on. He kind of guards the house from the window. It's the front window to the house, to the living room. And he goes nuts because there's tons of squirrels running around torturing him all day long. Especially now, like in a month or so, when they start like digging and hiding the nuts and stuff that they do, forget about it. They I swear to you, bay windows. Thank you, Mark. They torture my poor dog. They shake their tails in his face and stuff. It just drives him, and he loses his mind over these stupid things. All right, yeah, no problem, Mark. Congratulations on your sales. Thanks for coming in. Enjoy your dinner. Yeah, I'm probably gonna head off and eat anyway. Oh, I know, we're hotter than Florida. Yeah, the Northeast has been clobbered. I don't know why. All of a sudden, the last couple of days, I saw it in the forecast, and thank God we're not playing outside this week. Let me tell you. Yeah, 96 tomorrow. Like hotter than it's been all year. Totally agreed, man. It is subjective, and I just think it's a good philosophy to be a little conservative in your grading if you want to stay away from, potential nonsense from buyers. Record buyers can be very picky. The one thing I'll say about Discogs, I've said this, but to reiterate, is that the Discog buyer versus the eBay buyer when it comes to records, the Discog buyer is a little more discerning, a little more knowledgeable, typically, not saying, just making a general statement, a little more, they're really, audiophile type people. They know what they want. They know all the ins and outs of these things for the most part, not everybody. Whereas eBay, I think, is more for the everyday person that just wants to pick up a record and, hopes it's in decent shape, doesn't really have an encyclopedic knowledge of half of this stuff. Discogs, you're just going to find a little more of a educated base of customers potentially. So you definitely don't want to, say something's mint when it's not. It better be mint if you say it's mint, or it better be excellent if you say it's excellent, and down the line. Because they'll crucify you on Discogs. You'll get your name, you'll be blackmailed. Your name will be blackmailed in the community. And ABCF. Was that your next video, Vaughn? Can't we do the stories? When Matt gets home, he's been in denial that there's a problem. Bay window. Yes. Bay windows. Yes. All these records for my collection. No serious schedule. Yeah, I know. Right. Exactly. That's not a grade. That's just yeah. And that's what I'm saying. On eBay, you're going to see a lot more of that than on Discogs. People on Discogs know what they're doing from a selling perspective and certainly from a buying perspective. 95 in Ohio. Yeah, same with us, Maria. 96 tomorrow. Yeah, I just read you this. Mid 90s every day. What's up with that? All your records are very good. Post us, and they can return if not acceptable. Is that right? You'll also see a lot of people on eBay that they'll indicate that they try to wash their hands of any responsibility. Not tested, appears good, or something, appears clean, appears. That's weak in my view. Oh yeah, great point. Discogs has you can catalog your collection, which I utilize, especially when I buy new stuff. You can catalog your own collection, and it keeps a count of. Let me pull mine up. I'll show you or I'll tell you how it shakes out. It's really cool. It's just a great way to index your collection, and then it gives you a minimum, median, and max value for your entire collection as you've posted to the site, which is really cool based on the pricing scheme, of sold items. It's a great way to just keep your stuff organized. You can make notes on it and stuff. Really nice. Really, really nice. So maybe we'll just dabble. We'll see what the interest is. I will put a poll up there right after the show. We'll see what everybody wants to do Friday. But maybe we'll just, whether anybody wants to really do a listing show based around records and 78s is almost neither here nor there. Maybe we'll just dabble. I'll open up Discogs. We'll take a look, and I'll show you guys around just if anybody wants to just check it out. Your cat sneezed so loud she made you jump. That's funny. You're skittish. Wow, really? Yeah, the max. There's a pretty large disparity between low end and high end. The median is probably your best accurate guess as far as value. What? Really? That's just madness. That's just madness. But you don't drive that much. All right, everybody, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you coming in on an off night. It is a Tuesday, but you came in. I really appreciate it. Ginger, we have been in the high 90s until this weekend. We got a break, but temps are climbing up to high 90s. Yeah. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Enough with this nonsense. We have a couple more weeks. It'll be fall, and hopefully it'll act like fall. And again, not to be down, but what happens here is you get this. It's 90-something degrees. We'll get out of nowhere. It'll be like 50 degrees one night. Everybody will be freezing to death. And then it'll be winter. There's no transition. It just goes from hot to cold. Fall's supposed to be, 70s, 60s, cool evenings, all that kind of romantic notion. It never really, very rarely actually comes to fruition. It's usually, like I said, it goes from hot, sunny to all of a sudden one day you get a freak cold night. Everything dies and it's cold until next May. On that note, have a great week, everybody. I'll see you on Friday. Please do check out that community tab. Leave a thumbs up if you have a second on your way out the door. Thanks for coming in. If you watch the show and you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you on board. We're going to have a lot more material coming out now that I'm back home. Lots more starting this month of September. I'll see you on Friday. Check out the posts. That's probably about the next 10 minutes or so. There'll be a post in the community tab. You see what you guys want to list on Friday. I'll see you then. Have a great night.